we are, another great weekend of soccer. Thanks for tuning in to All Things Division Three Soccer with Simple Coach and Jackie. I am Simple Coach. Jackie is right there. She is snoozing already, and it's early morning. So this is hopefully going to be a quick one, nothing too fancy. Just want to go over some games of the week and choose my game or games of the week. Because there's some really great ones out there. So to begin with, let's start with the ladies. Like I said, there's a bunch of games that are going on that really have piqued my interest. You got MSOE against Wisconsin Whitewater. You have Washington and Lee traveling to Franklin and Marshall. Pacific Lutheran at Christopher Newport. You got Ohio Northern going on a Texas trip. And I think they play Occidental, maybe. I can't remember. Hardin Simmons, maybe. And they travel to Texas to play Mary Hardin Baylor. Scranton at Vassar. Susquehanna at Bridgewater. Great games. But since it's the weekend, on Friday, the game that I'm really honed in on, which is one of the games of the weekend, is going to be Case Western traveling to Misericordia. Both are rocking it so far in the early part of the season. They're both 2-0. Misericordia coming off last year's Elite Eight, losing to Johns Hopkins, the obviously eventual national champion. And then Case making it to the final, losing to Johns Hopkins. And I would say, remember that Misericordia has the Player of the Year, Emma Schweitzer. So that's one game that that I'll be looking at, and that's tonight. I think it's at 7. The game of the day, I'll just call it, for tomorrow is Tufts at Connecticut College. Tufts is 1-0. They just beat Emerson College, and then Connecticut College took it to University of St. Joseph, and they're 1-0 as well. And this is the start of a NESCAC game, and they're quite the bitter rivals on both the men's and women's side. So really tuned into that one. And then finally on Sunday, keep an eye out for the University of Paywall. For those of you who don't know, that's the University of Rochester for me. Plays Smith College at Smith College. So get the added benefit that we can watch the game. So both teams are 3-0. So this will be really a really good test for I think Smith, right? Like Smith. This is a really tough matchup. So I think we'll see where that stands, but definitely a game to watch on Sunday. So the 3 games I got chosen on the women's side: Case Western at Misericordia tonight, Tufts at Connecticut College tomorrow, and then Smith College Rochester at Smith College. All right, so let's shift over to the men. So, again, some really great games out there. A lot of top 20s. Calvin at Ohio Northern, Gustavus at Loras, NESCAC game, Amherst at Middlebury. One that really does have my interest, and I'm wondering, and I'm watching it just because I'm curious to know how Chicago's going to react. Wisconsin Eau Claire plays at Chicago. So 90 minutes of hell. Can Chicago withstand the oppressive press that Eau Claire likes to play? Colorado College and Ohio Northern. That's a really good matchup. St. Olaf at Kenyon. Kenyon still trying to get its sea legs, but right, Travis Wall now the head coach at Kenyon from St. Olaf. That looks to me like a good game. Out west, Pacific Lutheran at Claremont. Mud Scripts. A game that will be, I think, a test for both teams. Again, a good matchup: Otterbein at Washington and Lee, and then there's Babson at Stevens. But my games of the weekend start with this top 20 matchup: St. Olaf at Ohio Wesleyan. I think Ohio Wesleyan sort of having like they did last year, a little bit of a bumpy start. St. Olaf, I think a 2-1, doing well. Just lost to Chicago, and their only losses to Chicago. So I think that's going to be a really key matchup for us to watch. I'll go for Saturday. Just like the ladies, I'm sorry. This is really a good one to see. Tufts at Connecticut College. Tufts just recently beat MIT 1-0, and where did this go? And Connecticut College really put in on a hurt to Hartford, the new Division III program. And so this is the opening of the NESCAC. Two teams that really don't like each other, I think. So that's going to be a real humdinger. And then I'm going down to Texas for this game on Sunday, which is St. Thomas versus Mary Hardin Baylor. So I think it's going to be who's they're going to pick, and then there's Trinity at some point, but they're going to pick. This is the game that's going to determine who's the Lord of Tejas. I did want to say, just because I watched it yesterday, I posted this on Division III on the D3 boards, and I just sort of noticed I have a little bit more of a, I'll just say, thought on players to watch on the men's side than I do on the women's side right now. I haven't watched as many women's games. I think it's just because of the calendar and the types of matchups. But if you're looking to figure out like some names for players of the year, you obviously have to start with Matt McDonald at Messiah, the current player of the year. But you also have to look at Victor Gallman at St. Olaf. I have him last year as one of my top 30 or 33 players in the country. And he is outstanding. He's an outstanding midfielder and has only gotten better. And then lastly, he's a transfer from the University of Akron. Keep an eye out for Jared Wright at John Carroll University. Scored a goal last night against Carnegie Mellon. Outstanding ball player. And if he keeps scoring goals, one, he's definitely in the conversation. Two, keep an eye out for John Carroll, because he might be the type of player that really pushes the program along, where they could be contenders for the national title. Okay, so with that, I'm going to call it a day, and the reason is there's first of all my boss doesn't appreciate my YouTube influencing as much as you do, but also super excited. Next week's going to be pretty crazy. something's coming back. I don't want to divulge too much. Out of retirement, work through the contracts, ready to pay out substantial sums of money. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really enjoyable. So be on the lookout to next week for, I'll just say, another video. Which reminds me, do daily stuff on Patreon. So if you're so inclined, because I got big contracts to pay now, please consider becoming a member over at Patreon. Jackie, no comments from her because she's chilling. But thank you. Thanks for all the support. As always, do appreciate. Hope you enjoy this weekend slate of games. If you have other games that you think I missed, by all means, this is just my opinion. So post it down below. Or just, feel free to shoot me an email, sc149249 at AOL.com. The dial-up works. So, all right. Great weekend.